you already know what to do. You've got the frameworks, the funnels, the systems, and yet something is still off. You're making money, but not feeling free. You're hitting goals, but maybe not feeling fulfilled. You're growing, but keep bumping into income limits. Not growing into the woman who can actually hold and enjoy that success you're creating. Here's what I see with so many ambitious women. They'll invest thousands in external strategy, but avoid the one investment that really shifts everything, investing in who they are, in their internal capacity, in the identity shift that's required to sustain the success they're building. Because you can't out-strategize an identity that's not aligned with where you're going. If you don't invest in the self who can hold your next level of growth, you'll keep creating the same limits over and over. Most successful women I work with have been conditioned to solve problems externally. New strategy, new offer, new launch method. And yes, strategy obviously matters. But when you keep stacking more strategy on top of the same internal patterns, you're just building a bigger business on the same shaky foundation. You can have the perfect funnel, but if old worthiness patterns keep you undercharging, you're going to scale the clients, but not your freedom. You can have a marketing strategy that works, but if fear visibility keeps you off the bigger stages, you'll never make the impact you want. You can have a clear path to scale, but if your identity is still the woman who has to do everything herself, you'll burn out before you get there. This is the pattern I see constantly. Highly capable women who have mastered the external game but are still running in outdated internal programming. And that misalignment is in the way of everything that they're trying to build. When business feels hard or uncertain, most women default to what feels most safe, which is more strategy. Another course, another framework, another marketing method. Because strategizing feels productive. It feels like control. It gives you that hit of, I'm doing something. But the truth is, it's avoidance. Avoidance of the deeper work, the identity work, the patterns that you haven't released yet. And deep down, you know you don't need more information, right? You need transformation. You need to shift who you are, not just what you know. And that's the investment that most women avoid until avoiding it costs more than facing it. Until the burnout hits, until the income ceiling won't budge, until the gap between who they are and what they've built is just too painful to ignore. Because your business will only grow as much as you do. Your income will only expand as much as your self-concept or self-image allows. Your impact will only reach as far as your internal capacity can hold. So when I talk about investing in yourself, I'm not talking about another certification or skill set. You've already got the skills. I'm talking about investing in the woman you need to become to hold the success that you're building. The internal work that shifts your identity, dissolves the patterns keeping you stuck, and creates the capacity to lead, to scale, and succeed without burning out. And what makes this investment in who you are so valuable is that it compounds. Every other investment you then make, whether it's in strategy, your business, your team, gets a better return when you've done the internal work first, when your foundation is solid, when you've cleared the worthiness wounds. You don't just charge more, you hold those premium rates without second-guessing yourself. And you hold the income instead of looping back to previous income limits. When you've shifted your identity from a doer to a leader, you don't just delegate, you build a team that actually multiplies your impact. When fear of visibility dissolves, showing up stops being a performance and starts being presence. That is the real return on investment of internal work. It doesn't just shift one thing. It shifts absolutely everything in your business. Here's another thing. You're shaped by your environment, whether you realize it or not. the people closest to you, the conversations you're in, the standards you're surrounded by. They all influence what you see as normal, possible, or expected. If you're surrounded by people who are comfortable with just enough, while you're reaching for the more extraordinary, then that environment will quietly lower your goals and eat away at your vision. And I'm not saying dump your friends or cut ties with your family. I'm saying get intentional about the company you keep, about who you let into your inner circle, about who influences your thinking. Because when you're around people who are already where you want to be, your standards shift. What felt like a stretch starts feeling normal. What felt impossible starts to feel inevitable. And environment isn't just physical, it's the content you consume, the communities you're part of, the mentors you invest in. So ask yourself this: are you surrounded by people who reinforce limits or people who expand your vision? Are you in rooms where your goals feel crazy, or are they just expected? You can't become who you're meant to be while staying in an environment that doesn't support your growth. And let's talk about something that most coaches won't touch, and that is your partner. Nothing impacts your growth faster than the person closest to you. If your partner fears your ambition, resents your success, or feels threatened by your growth, you're not just facing business challenges, you're fighting resistance at home. Money represents freedom, right? Success represents power. And if your partner feels insecure about you having more of either, they might, consciously or not, undermine it. Sometimes it looks like guilt-tripping you for working, questioning your priorities, or shrinking your confidence. But the right partner will multiply your success. They celebrate your wins, they support your vision, and help you expand without second-guessing yourself. If that's not the reality you're in, it's a conversation worth having, because you can't build an extraordinary business with someone who's afraid of your power. So what does it really mean to invest in yourself at this level? It's not another certification. You've already got the skills. It's not another course. You've already done the strategies. It's investing in the woman you are becoming. That means working with someone who can see the patterns you can't. Someone who can help you dissolve old programming and install the beliefs and identity that match the level of success you're stepping into. It means putting yourself in environments that stretch you, not just validate you. Communities where your goals aren't out there, they're just the baseline. And it means choosing growth over safety, saying yes to the inner work, the coaching, the mentorship, even when it feels uncomfortable, even when you can't map the return on investment up front. Because the women who can scale and grow in the long term don't just know more strategy. They become the version of themselves who can lead it, hold it, and expand it. Your future self, the one who's created true freedom, didn't arrive there by accident. She's trained herself. So here's the question. If you keep pouring into strategy, but avoid the identity work, where will you be a year from now, 3 years, 5? Chances are you'll still be making the good enough money, but still pushing hard, finding that it still doesn't feel lighter, freer, or more aligned. Staying where you are is easy. You just keep doing what you're doing, more strategy, more effort, because it's been bringing you the good enough results. But if you want the real breakthrough, beyond just bigger income, into becoming the woman who can hold it, who can enjoy it, who can lead from it, then it takes a different kind of investment. Invest in yourself. Invest in your internal capacity, in the identity shift that makes every other move easier and more effective. Invest in the company you keep. Because funnels fade, trends change, strategies evolve, but the self you invest in compounds forever. So what's the area you're most ready to invest in right now? Is it focus, identity, emotional mastery, or your environment? Drop it in the comments, put it in writing, because your words reinforce your leadership. And if this resonates, please hit like and subscribe because there's more coming your way. Thank you for watching, and remember, you can do anything. Bye.